Hi, this is George Alger, and welcome to this segment of Our Ventura TV. Today's guest expert is Ray Powers, who is a musician and composer from Ojai. And today we're going to be talking about the Ojai Youth Symphony. Welcome, Ray.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Cool. So what is the Ojai Youth Symphony?
The Ojai Youth Symphony was founded in 2002 by Andy Radford and Amy Hagen. They're both professional musicians, and they're both very committed to teaching youth about music. So they've started this orchestra. There's 3 levels to it: very beginners, a middle section, and an advanced orchestra, which is who I'm working with. We both share the same commitment, and that is the importance of the role of music in childhood development, music education and music appreciation. So even though someone may not be adept at playing an instrument, just listening to music, listening to different types of music, understanding the lineage of different kinds of music is really enriching to a child in their development. Now, there's been a lot of research and science lately. Well, it's been going on for years and years, but, well, you know, like when we were in school as kids, there were music programs in the schools. Instruments were provided. That's how I got my start playing trumpet in 5th grade, had great teachers. So my music mentors were my second family in a lot of ways, all the way through college. So the Ojai Youth Symphony and myself understand that through learning an instrument, you learn cognitive skills, you learn math, you know, how to count. It's all fractional, you know, different rhythms and beats in music. You learn social skills, how to function in a group and in a group sitting. You learn how to listen, which is good in a conversation as well, when to speak, when to listen. Same with an instrument, because you have a role to play with the other instruments. And it also there's been very recent research about spatial recognition and learning to read music. And so it's very interesting what it does when you train yourself with musical theory and just practice. You know, not just the discipline of practicing, but what's cool about music, and I know how it affects my life, it's one place in my life where I get daily wins. You know if you hit a wrong note. You know if you're playing out of tune, especially in a group, because everyone else sounds different. And when you finally dial that in, and you learn, even if it's a bar of music, one measure, and you nail it, you get an instant win, and the psyche knows that. And that feel-good translates into the rest of your life. So if we can start that early,
it's a win for everybody.
Yeah.
That's cool. Now, I want to make sure I got this. So there's 3 levels of the Ojai Youth Symphony. Does that mean there's actually 3 symphonies?
Well, there's 3 groups. So the Ojai Youth Symphony starts pretty young. I believe, and I'm not totally sure about this, but I believe it starts like in 4th or 5th grade and it's 12 to 18-year-olds.
Okay.
So that's 4th or 5th grade up to high school. So everyone's at a different level. So they have a smaller group that plays easier music, and an intermediary group, and then an advanced group.
And would there be 3 different performances? So the parents of the youngest might go to the performance of their kids.
Actually, that's not the case.
Oh, okay.
What generally happens is each year 4 concerts are given.
Okay.
And all 3 groups play at each concert.
Okay.
So all the parents come to one concert.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. Now, explain your role. How do you fit in with the symphony?
Well, a little over a year ago, I wanted to write a piece about the Ojai Valley. I moved there in 1991 from Los Angeles, and I just fell in love with the valley. And I've been there 15 years now, and I wanted to give something back and also write some music based on my inspiration of the valley. If you've been there, you know the land is extremely pristine. Including Ventura and a lot of the areas around here, has a rich cultural heritage of the indigenous Chumash Indians that lived there, who are still there. There's lots of colorful characters that live there, and it's just in general has a vibrant history. So I wanted to write a piece of music. It's an orchestral suite. And in classical music, a suite is made up of smaller sections. So even though it's a 40-minute arc of music, there's 6 sections within it, each addressing different aspects of Ojai that I just mentioned. So I was thinking about, well, what if I've been a music teacher, and I know what my musical mentors gave me. What if I collaborate with the Youth Symphony and connect with Andy Radford and see if they'd be willing to play the piece and premiere it? So this entire year I've been devoting to writing this piece of music, which will have the world premiere April 25th. There'll be,
other performances?
Thank you.
Okay.
There's a word I'm missing. So there will be other performances of it, but that's the premiere of it. Okay. So that's my collaboration with the Youth Symphony. And what's really fun for the kids with this is they're learning the classics, Haydn, Mozart, Tchaikovsky, etc. when they in their concerts in general. This is a new piece of music. I don't know if they've ever had a chance to play a new work. Not only am I using the 60-piece orchestra, I'm using 2 saxophones, marimba, electric guitar, keyboards, and a drum set. So even though it's a classical, traditional instrumentation, I have these more modern instruments involved with it. And then we have the Spanish influence from when the conquistadors landed on the shore right here. So that brings in the gypsy scales and the flamenco rhythms. So that's in there too. So the kids are very challenged with this, and I think that's a good thing.
Nice. Now, coming back to the symphony itself, is this open to pretty much anyone? Yeah,
the Ojai Youth Symphony is for all children 12 to 18 that live in Ventura County.
Okay.
So Ventura County is large. It's not just Ojai. We rehearse in Ojai.
Okay.
Once a week. And it's an extracurricular activity. So it's not funded by the school system. It's a very small fee for the entire year for each family. I don't recall what it is, but they can connect with the Ojai Youth Symphony and find that out. But it's not very large. It's very, very affordable for what they're getting for 4 concerts and once a week.
And earlier you had mentioned how when we were younger, we could go to school and there might be instruments that we could play. If someone were to get involved with the Ojai Youth Symphony, do they bring their own? Do they provide their own instruments?
A lot of the children have their own instruments. There are some extra ones. I know there are music stores, of course, that rent instruments, and I don't think those are very expensive. And certainly when I was growing up, so many of us started on an instrument and then moved away from it, and so our friends had a flute laying around, or like my first trumpet was my cousin's. You know, and he gave it to me, and that's how I learned.
Cool.
Yeah.
So since there's 4 performances each year, are they each season? Is that how that works?
Yeah, there's 4 a year, and yeah, they're like every quarter.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Now, does the symphony provide constructions through the summer as well when school's out, or is it just during the school year?
It's just during the school year.
Okay.
Because generally a lot of the families go on vacation, and then we lose a lot of players. And plus, the kids don't really practice that much during the summer. They want to play. They're not in school. During the school year, practicing their instrument is kind of part of their homework. They got to make time for it. Because if they just come once a week to rehearsal, they're never going to learn the music. That's where they get to, fit in with the entire group, what they've been practicing on their own at home, because they get to take the music home and learn it.
So if a parent's watching this and is thinking, yeah, maybe I should look into this for my children, can they be introduced at any time during the school year, or do they start at the beginning of the school year, just like the
That's preferable, is that they start at the school year. Otherwise, they're playing catch-up. It kind of depends on the skill level of the student.
Okay.
If you've started playing violin when you were 4 years old, and now you're 16 and you've stuck with it, you can probably read down anything that's handed to you pretty quick. So in that case, you might be able to join in the middle of the school year.
Good.
If you're a beginner, it might be a different story than that.
Would you say that the Ojai Youth Symphony is it based on the model of the school education that we had when music was part of the curriculum, or is it expanded even more in different ways? At least to the degree that when I was in school, I took music, I played in a couple of concerts a year at the school, so it sounds similar. And for parents who may have that recollection as well, would they be able to say, yeah, that's pretty much
I
the
would
same?
treat it that way. I would consider it like a class, but it's an
Okay.
extracurricular class.
Right.
Andy Radford, one of the directors, and he's conducting the symphony for my piece. He also is very involved with the Bravo program of the Ojai Music Festival. And the Bravo program is what goes into the school system and teaches school programs.
Ah, okay.
But the Youth Symphony, he and Amy Hagen started, they're extracurricular.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're just about out of time here. I wondered if you could provide a website for people who would like to find out more about the Ojai Youth Symphony, and if you have a summating message for the viewers.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Ojai Youth Symphony is ohaiyouthsymphony.org.
Good.
And my piece I'm writing and collaborating with them is called Valley of the Moon Suite, and that's at oadg.bandcamp.com. And I guess what I would want to say to sum it all up is, if you're able to and your kids show any kind of interest in music, let them have a shot at it, because there's everything to gain and really nothing to lose. There's no failure. My very first voice teacher said, get a hold of every instrument you can and play it, because everyone has an instrument that's a fit.
Very good advice. I haven't heard that before, but I like that. Well, thank you very much, Ray.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's great having you.
Appreciate it.
This is George Alger signing off for this segment of Our Ventura TV. Until we meet again.